Here's a question worth sitting with for a second. If someone offered you a choice, pay $47 today or pay $52 in 3 weeks, which one feels harder? Most people would say the $47 today. It's more money right now out of your account, visible, real. But here's the strange part. Every time you tap a credit card instead of a debit card, you're choosing the second option, and it doesn't feel harder at all. It feels easier. It feels like nothing. That's not an accident. That's not a coincidence of modern convenience. That's a design choice, and understanding it is going to change how you see every purchase you make for the rest of this video, and probably for a long time after. Let's talk about someone real. Not a stereotype, not a cautionary tale, just an average earner. Her name doesn't matter. Let's say she's 27, works in marketing, lives in a mid-sized US city. Nothing extravagant about her life. Take-home pay after tax, $3,400 a month. That's a solid, respectable income, not rich, not struggling, comfortable on paper. Rent for a one-bedroom, $1,350. Car payment, $410. Student loan minimum, $290. Utilities, phone, insurance, roughly $380. Add that up. $2,430 gone before she's bought a single coffee, a single meal, a single anything for herself. That leaves $970 a month for food, gas, entertainment, clothes, gifts, emergencies, everything that makes up an actual life. On paper, that's workable. Tight, but workable. So why, after 5 years of this same income and these same responsibilities, does she carry a credit card balance of $6,200 that never seems to go down? She didn't buy a boat. She didn't take a reckless vacation. Nothing dramatic happened. And that's exactly the point of this video, because the credit card debt that traps most people isn't built from one bad decision. It's built from 20 small ones a month, each too small to notice. Here's the part almost nobody explains clearly. A credit card doesn't just let you delay payment. It changes the psychological weight of the purchase at the exact moment you're making the decision. When you pay with cash or debit, your brain registers a loss immediately. Money leaves. The account balance drops. There's a small, real pang of that's gone now. Behavioral economists have studied this for decades. It's called the pain of paying, and it's a genuine, measurable psychological friction that makes you hesitate, even for a second before a purchase. A credit card removes that friction almost completely. Nothing leaves your account. No number drops. The only thing that happens is a small vibration in your pocket and a receipt. The actual financial consequence, the debit from your real resources, gets pushed 3, sometimes 6 weeks into the future, disconnected from the moment of desire. This is the quiet rewiring. It's not that credit cards make you reckless. It's that they remove the natural signal your brain uses to regulate spending. And without that signal, you make dozens of decisions a month with almost no resistance at all. Let's make this concrete, because vague psychology doesn't convince anyone. Numbers do. Say our marketing employee spends an average of $60 a week more than she would if she were paying with cash. Not on anything dramatic, just the accumulated ease of tap to pay. A slightly nicer lunch here, a subscription she forgot about, a treat-yourself purchase after a hard week. $60 a week doesn't sound like anything. $60 a week is $3,120 a year. Now here's where it compounds, not in the good way, in the bad way. If she's not paying off her statement in full, and her card carries a typical APR of around 24%, that $3,120 doesn't just sit there. It grows. A balance that isn't cleared monthly, compounding at 24%, roughly doubles every 3 years if left untouched. So a habit that felt like basically nothing, a coffee here, a subscription there, becomes a 5-figure liability within a decade quietly. Without a single moment where it felt like a big decision. That's the mechanism, not one mistake. 1,000 invisible ones, each disguised as normal life. Now, why does this keep happening even to people who know better? Because this isn't a knowledge problem. Almost everyone knows credit card debt is expensive. That's not the gap. The gap is between knowing something in the abstract and feeling something in the moment. And credit cards are specifically engineered, through reward points, cashback, buy now, pay later language, to make the moment of spending feel positive, even smart. You're not thinking I am going into debt. You're thinking I'm earning 2% back. There's also a subtler layer here, something psychologists call temporal discounting. Human brains are wired to undervalue future costs compared to present ones. A cost that arrives in 3 weeks feels abstract, almost theoretical, compared to the immediate tangible reward of having something now. This isn't a character flaw. It's a basic feature of how human cognition evolved, long before 30-day billing cycles existed. So when someone racks up debt on a card, it's rarely because they're bad with money. It's because they're a normal human brain interacting with a financial product, specifically optimized to exploit a well-known cognitive blind spot. Let's follow this forward because the real cost isn't the $6,200 balance. It's what that balance quietly prevents. Money going toward minimum payments and interest is money that cannot go toward a retirement account, cannot build an emergency fund, cannot compound in an index fund over the next 30 years. If that same $3,120 a year, the invisible annual overspend, had instead gone into a retirement account earning a historically reasonable 7% average annual return. Over 25 years, it would grow to somewhere around $210,000. Not from a windfall, not from a raise, from the same money redirected. This is the real quiet tragedy of credit card drift. It's not the debt itself. It's the version of the future that never gets funded because the present kept feeling too easy to resist. And the person living this isn't lazy or foolish. She's simply making decisions inside a system engineered to make the expensive choice feel like the effortless one. So what's different about people who don't fall into this pattern? It's rarely willpower, it's structure. Financially aware people tend to reintroduce the friction that credit cards remove. Some do this by checking their balance daily, not out of anxiety, but so the number stays real and visible instead of abstract. Some deliberately use debit for daily spending and reserve credit only for planned, tracked purchases. Some set up automatic transfers to savings the moment their paycheck lands, so the money is gone from temptation before the month even begins. None of this is a trick, it's not a hack. It's simply restoring the psychological signal that modern payment systems are designed to erase, making the cost of spending feel real again at the moment it actually happens, instead of 3 weeks later when it's just a number on a statement. The people who build wealth quietly aren't the ones who never want things. They're the ones who have rebuilt the natural hesitation that credit cards were built to remove. None of this means credit cards are evil, or that convenience is a trap, or that you need to swear off modern financial tools. That would be its own kind of oversimplification. What's worth taking from this is smaller and more useful than that. The ease of a purchase has nothing to do with whether it's a good decision. The system is built to make spending feel weightless. Your job, if you want to stay in control of your own money, is to put a little of that weight back, deliberately, calmly, without guilt. You don't need to feel bad about how you've spent up until today. Awareness is the only thing that actually changes behavior going forward, and you have that now. If this kind of thinking is useful